Welcome to the AC 24/7 Top Story Countdown. We'll guide you through the biggest news of the day. Our focus, advocating our rights, advocating health, and advocating Earth. Here's our pick for number 4.
Drugs like Oxycontin made one American family very rich and helped fuel the opioid crisis, killing many of those who became addicted.
I lost my niece a couple of years ago to an overdose. I lost a brother. That family should have to start going to funerals.
That family is the Sacklers. They'll get to keep the bulk of their fortune and be shielded from current and future civil lawsuits as part of a settlement just upheld by a federal appeals court. Their company, Purdue Pharma, made billions developing opioid-based drugs, misrepresenting the risk of addiction.
The Sacklers directed and approved hiring sales representatives whose job was to visit doctors and persuade them to prescribe more opiates, higher doses of opiates, and for longer periods of time.
Now Purdue will pay up to $6 billion. Our focus going forward is to deliver billions of dollars of value for victim compensation, opioid crisis abatement, and overdose rescue medicines, the company said in a statement. The settlement also ends years of civil lawsuits against the company and family. The Sackler family continues to deny wrongdoing, but expresses regret for the effect on communities.
They had took into no accountability what they were actually doing to people.
Dozens of states and individuals sued in the wake of the company pleading guilty to federal criminal charges for how it marketed and sold Oxycontin. For some victims' families, this settlement feels like the best deal they could have gotten.
The alternative would have been thousands and thousands of lawsuits that could have gone on for years and years.
It gets the Sacklers out of the opioid business. It shuts down Purdue Pharma. It gave families the opportunity to address the Sacklers and tell them how they wrecked their lives, and it gets money to families.
Don't worry, it's an excellent drug.
The family dynasty dramatized in TV series like Dope Sick. They say their reputation is unfair.
It distresses me greatly and angers me greatly that the medication that was developed to help people and relieve severe pain has become associated with so much human suffering.
In a statement, the family says they are pleased with the settlement. The long-awaited implementation of this resolution is critical to providing substantial resources for people and communities in need.
TheAdvocateChannel.com looks at the world through the lens of equality and inclusion. Subscribe, like, and share now. AC 24/7's Top Story Countdown continues with our producer's pick for number 3.
These days, Sherry Ferguson has swapped her vape pen for an Ozempic pen.
I thought, I'm not enjoying vaping, so I may as well just put this into the battery bin at work, and I'll see how long I can go without it. And that was 54 days ago.
Ferguson started using Ozempic 11 weeks ago to combat weight gained during the pandemic that she says was increasing her risk of diabetes. A smoker for much of her life, Ferguson switched to vaping last July. But after starting Ozempic, she says something changed.
It's like someone's just come along and switched a light on, and you can see the room for what it is, and all of these vapes and cigarettes that you've had over the years, they don't look attractive anymore. It's very, very strange, very strange.
Ferguson is one of many patients taking drugs like Ozempic for weight loss who say they've also lost interest in some addictive behaviors. Doctors told CNN that patients most commonly report an effect on alcohol use. It may be because these drugs in a class known as GLP-1s have an effect not just in the gut but also in the brain. It's something being studied at the National Institutes of Health, where researchers just published a paper showing semaglutide, the active ingredient in Ozempic, reduced what they called binge-like alcohol drinking in rodents.
We believe that at least one of the mechanisms how these drugs reduce alcohol drinking is by reducing the rewarding effects of alcohol, such as those related to a neurotransmitter in our brain, which is dopamine. So these medications are likely to make alcohol less rewarding.
And it's not just alcohol and nicotine. Patients have even told The Atlantic it had effects on behaviors like nail biting and online shopping.
There is a lot of overlap on the neurobiological mechanism that regulate addictive behaviors in general. So it's possible that medications like semaglutide, by acting on this specific mechanism in the brain, they may help people with a variety of addictive behaviors.
Clinical trials in humans are needed to prove that. One set is underway at the University of North Carolina, looking at semaglutide's effect on alcohol and tobacco use. Sherry Ferguson says Ozempic has helped her lose 38 pounds. Even better, she says, is how it's made her feel.
The weight that it takes off your mind is far greater than any pounds that can come off your body.
Like the Advocate channel on Facebook for the best way to get updates on stories that advocate for equality, justice, our rights, and more. AC 24/7 continues with today's top 2 pick.
From the classroom to the living room, this time of year can bring a whole host of feelings.
Some might be excited about the end of the school year and starting summer. Others might be a little uneasy. Some might be sad. And all of it's completely okay and normal.
Licensed therapist Jody Baumstein says to ask children open-ended questions, listen to what they have to say, help kids name their feelings, and then validate what they feel. In any time of change, Baumstein says keeping a routine is key. That includes healthy eating habits, staying active, and getting enough sleep. Keeping meals and bedtime the same can help too.
When there's a lot of unknown and questioning happening, we don't necessarily feel the most calm or safe. But if we have a routine that's predictable and we know what to expect, kids feel a sense of comfort.
And while everyone's getting used to being out of school, stay away from other unnecessary stressors.
If there's something that doesn't really have to happen right now that could cause some extra stress on your child or the family, we just want to postpone that until we're a little bit further along, a little bit more settled.
And Baumstein says, don't forget to make time for fun.
Sometimes it feels like we don't have time for that. But those things actually make us feel more connected and more hopeful about the future, too.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Follow the Advocate channel on Twitter and Instagram to stay updated on stories that matter every day. Here's our number 1 story of the day. Take a look.
The debt limit bill is in the hands of the U.S. Senate after an overwhelming vote in the House of Representatives Wednesday night.
We all made history because this is the biggest cut and savings this Congress has ever voted for.
The bill now needs unanimous consent from all senators in order to move quickly through the chamber. In theory, the Senate could pass the bill Thursday and President Biden could sign it into law Friday before the possible debt default Monday. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell are pushing for a speedy resolution.
I can tell you what I hope happens is that those who have amendments, if given votes, will yield back time so that we can finish this Thursday or Friday and soothe the country and soothe the markets.
Any needless delay or any last-minute holdups would be an unnecessary and even dangerous risk.
One possible hurdle: if any amendment were to pass, the whole bill would have to return to the House. As for what's in the deal, the debt limit would be suspended until after the upcoming presidential election, veterans' health care benefits would be protected, and it temporarily broadens work requirements for certain adults receiving food assistance benefits. A deal both the president and the speaker believe Congress should be able to agree on and pass. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Thanks for watching the Advocate channel's top stories. We're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow, like, and share, or check out advocatechannel.com for even more stories that advocate for you.